Generating code with Claude Code doesn't always necessarily mean that you're generating secure code. Today, I'm going to show you how to wire in the StackHawk MCP server to Claude Code so that you can use it to test your code in real time, give that feedback back to Claude Code, and then create more secure applications that are ready for production. Let's take a look at exactly how easy this is to do. First thing I'm going to have you do is in StackHawk, once you've created your account, created an application, then you'll come over to Settings, then API Keys, and then we'll click Create API Key. We'll call this one Claude Code MCP. Then I'm going to grab this API key since we'll need it in a few short steps. Now, depending on where you're running Claude Code, I'm running it in VS Code. You're going to want to go to that IDE or that terminal. You can see here that I've got a Claude Code API test project that I've set up. I've got my StackHawk.yml here. Now, the MCP server can actually set up all this stuff as well, but in this case, I've set it up manually. So I've also created a file called mcp_command.txt. You don't need this, but I'm going to use this to explain exactly how we're going to configure the MCP server. So you can see here that I'm using the Claude MCP add JSON command. I then want to add StackHawk, and then this is the config here. You'll see a couple of flags that I've got at the end here. So these are three different ways that you can install this. You can either do it globally, project level, or team-wide. I'm going to do it at the global level, so I'm going to add the -- scope user. If you don't include the -- scope user, it's just going to install it at the project level. And then if you want it at the team-wide project level, so you can commit this MCP configuration into source control, you would then do -- scope project. A little confusing, but we got there. Now, what I'm going to do is take my API key, paste it in here, and then I'm going to take this command and run it right here. You can see added standard IO, MCP server, StackHawk to user config. You don't have to do this, but I'm going to show you exactly where this gets written. So here, you can see that in my Claude.json, that's under my users, Matt Tanner, this is my main Claude file, you can see that it got added to my MCP servers object here with the correct API key. Now, the next thing that I'm going to do here is just to confirm you can actually use Claude MCP list. And we should see StackHawk come up here as well. StackHawk, there we go, connected. So we know that it's been added correctly. Now let's actually start up Claude Code. So I'm going to do Claude, which will then start up my Claude Code instance. And if I wanted to look to make sure that that MCP server is configured correctly in this interface, I can actually do /MCP, and we can see that I've got StackHawk here, and I can see that I can either reconnect it or view tools, and I can see a list of all the tools. Click on those tools. It's going to show me the documentation on those as well. Now we know that we've got it installed correctly. Now it's time to actually use it. Now the prompt that I'm going to use for this one will say, please scan my project for any security vulnerabilities using StackHawk. Use my existing StackHawk YML file in the project, or create a new project in StackHawk if it doesn't exist. Now it already does exist, so it should pick up on that. Let's run this, and we should see some of the MCP tools being picked up here. Like right here, run StackHawk scan. All right, and we can see that we have a couple issues that return back from the scan. We've got a medium risk CSP wildcard directive, and we've got some low risk permission policy header not set, server leaks information via X powered by HTTP response header, and then an X content type options header is missing. So no high severity stuff, but let's fix this anyways. And then we'll let the agent get to work. Now we can see that it's actually successfully fixed most of the vulnerabilities, but there's still one that's persisting, and that is the CSP wildcard directive. So still present on all endpoints. And what's happening is is that the agent realizes this and it's going to make some changes, and then it's going to retest again. And it will continue to run until all the fixes are there and complete. And with that, we've integrated the StackHawk MCP server into Claude Code, and I've shown you how to use it in order to test the code and then iterate with Claude Code. To learn more about the StackHawk MCP server, go to www.stackhawk.com. And until next time, happy coding.